What's up? Welcome to the lab. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. Good to see you. Good to be here. All right. We'll just jump into it. Following the arrest of the father and son duo, today we have received an arrest affidavit, and I'll go through it. It's not very long, but it does kind of give you some insight into why they're charged with the particular crimes that they are charged with. It makes sense, and they talk about the evidence a little bit, the connections, some reasoning, a little bit of reasoning, not a lot. And from what it sounds like, I don't believe anybody's out on bond yet. I do believe I wouldn't say a bond was posted, but I do think that they have received bonds, and they're adding additional charges. This is a very, like I said, this is a very fluid situation. While they're adding more charges, they're running things through the DA. The DA spoke before they were arrested. He said he was confident that there would be an arrest. Sure enough, there is an arrest, and now they're stacking these charges. I have confidence, fingers crossed, that they get charged, or that whoever, the son, Christopher, I believe. I'm hoping that they get the third murder charge. And so you know what, but I don't know if anybody's out. I could take a look. I do know that I don't know if you guys saw the boy's car got vandalized. Boo-hoo. Now, we don't condone any of that kind of behavior here on the lab, but like I said, boo-hoo. Actually, I can bring that up real quick. The car. Did anybody see it? It's on the thumbnail here. Somebody spray painted baby Killer. It's just gnarly to even say, but this guy's car was just sitting there the whole time. The car's just, his Silverado's just sitting out there. Wow. I don't know. Let me see. I'm trying to find it here. It's be that hard to find this. Oh, here we go. Oh, God, I got it. I'm just gonna. I have my thumbnail. Son of a gun. But we'll look at JLR's thumbnail. Check this out. So somebody got to his car overnight. They let him know what they're thinking about him. And I'm shocked that that's all that's happened. People are outraged. People are genuinely outraged with good reason. And you just sit there and, man, it's crazy. what are you going to do? All right. People are mad. People are pissed off. They're going to do this kind of stuff. And, you know, like I said, I don't encourage that kind of stuff. I also don't really care that much. So, let's see. Canadian Cookie says, I can't and don't quite believe all this was just over weed. Well, I'll tell you this. I believe it. Um, I believe it absolutely. I mean, like I said, this isn't something that's new. You know, it happens all the time. Just over weed, just over whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as there's money involved and stacks of it. And maybe this kid was gonna, you know, said, "Hey, I want to buy some weed," and then his whole thing was what he wanted to do was rob him. And yeah, Matthew was selling a lot of things. He was, if you look on his Telegram, he was selling Xanax, he was selling um, promethazine, which is codeine, which is completely against the law to sell. Weed, God knows what else. God knows what else, you know. But I have looked at the affidavit a little bit, and it is kind of interesting, and we'll go over it because it does kind of give you some insight into what's going on here. And it's I wouldn't say it's, I don't know. Well, let's just get into it. I was gonna wait a minute, but there's no time like the present. Okay. Or is there? Here we go. All righty then, folks. Here we go. State of Texas, County of Bear. Gwen corrected me on that. It's a beautiful way to spell bear. In the magistrate court. Got your little case number and everything. Affidavit for an arrest, affidavit for arrest warrant. As victim one in this case has been identified as Savanah Nicole Soto, and then they give her date of birth. Hereinafter referred to as victim one. Victim two would be Matthew. The affiant. It is the belief of your affiant that the offense, so I'm guessing whoever did this report. So let me get out of here. Okay, we'll start right here. Actually, let's just start at the beginning. It's always the best place to start, I guess. Cool. Okay, so your affiant has probable cause for said belief by reason of the following facts. So this is what they type up to give to the judge, and the judge decides if he signs off on it or not. So he signed off on it. And here we are. Okay. So this was committed on or about the 21st day of December 2003 in Bexar County, Texas. On December 23rd, 2023, Leon Valley Police received a call from a missing persons report. Family of the missing person stated she was supposed to be induced for her pregnancy and did not show up for the appointment. The family advised that they had not been able to get a hold of the female and stated she was not answering her phone. A check of the hospitals was conducted by the family, and it was found that the female was not at any of the hospitals. It was found that the female lived with her boyfriend. However, the family of the boyfriend advised that they were not able to get in touch with him as well. And this is really where you would think panic is setting in. Da, da, da. Here. The female was entered as a missing person by Leon Valley. Further investigation found that the female and her boyfriend were not responding to any phone calls and their whereabouts were unknown. Media broadcast on the news the story of the missing female and her boyfriend in the media. The boyfriend's car was broadcast in the media and was said to be a 2013 gray Kia Optima. On December 26th, 2023, a resident of 5903 Danny K Drive messaged the family of the female and advised them that they believed the vehicle was parked at 5903 Danny K Drive. The family contacted Leon Valley and drove to the location. And upon Leon Valley police arrival to the location, Leon Valley police observed the vehicle inside. Police observed the vehicle. Inside the vehicle was a deceased pregnant female. In the front seat, a deceased male. Wait, I'm having problems with the periods here. Was a deceased pregnant female in the front seat and a deceased male in the back seat of the vehicle. San Antonio police were contacted, and your affiant made the location upon arrival. Upon arrival to the location, your affiant observed the vehicle. The vehicle was a 2013 Kia Optima with a Texas license plate. Your affiant checked the VIN number, and the VIN number was the same VIN number that was broadcast on the news for the missing couple. A check of that information through NCIC TCIC showed the vehicle belonged to the boyfriend of the female. So the pieces are starting to fit together. They know what they're dealing with. They found who they're looking for. Your affiant observed the front right passenger side of the vehicle. Your affiant observed a deceased pregnant female inside of the front right passenger seat. Due to your affiant's knowledge of the female on a previous murder case from 2022, which would be her brother, your affiant recognized the female to be that of the missing female. The female appeared to have trauma to her head. Your affiant then observed the back seat of the vehicle, and your affiant observed a deceased male in the back seat of the vehicle. The deceased male resembled the boyfriend to the female. The male had an apparent gunshot wound to his head, and it appeared the male had been dragged into the vehicle. Your affiant did not observe any weapons near the male. So a search warrant was requested so entry of the vehicle could be conducted. And while waiting for the search warrant, your affiant spoke to the families of the female and male, and it was found that the boyfriend to the female sold narcotics and would use his phone through cellular communication as well as social media to sell narcotics. It was also advised that the boyfriend would post money and narcotics on Instagram. It was stated that people wanted to rob the boyfriend, and it was stated that the boyfriend had been shot at before. The family provided your affiant with the phone number of the female. The family of the male provided your affiant with his phone number as well as his Instagram. When the search warrant arrived at the location, a search of the vehicle was conducted. The search found spent shell casings in the vehicle. However, there was no weapon recovered in the vehicle. There was apparent blood transfer on the outside of the vehicle that was not consistent with the boyfriend causing harm to the female. That's where you got in your he did it to her, then he did it to himself. Logistically wasn't happening. Both the female and male had gunshot wounds to the head, and the male also had apparent drag marks on his back. And it was believed that the female and male were killed at a different location, and the vehicle was driven to the recovered location. During further investigation, your affiant found video surveillance of video at 5903 Danny K. The video surveillance found that on December 21st, 2023, around 2359 hours, which was that like 11? It's almost midnight, isn't it? A Chevrolet Silverado gray driving its lights off from the vehicle, off from the vehicle recovered location. The Silverado pulled in the middle of the back parking lot, which is, I believe, what we all saw. In the parking lot, the victim's vehicle could be seen approaching the Chevy Silverado. The male victim parked next to the Silverado. A heavy-set male exited the Silverado. The victim's vehicle parked next to the Silverado. The heavy-set male approached the driver of the vehicle and appeared to speak to the driver. The heavy-set male then get a towel from his vehicle and appears to wipe down the outside of the vehicle's door where he had touched the vehicle. The driver of the victim's vehicle exited the vehicle for a brief moment and sat exited and sat back in the driver's seat. I wonder what he was doing. The driver did not match the description of the female victim or the male victim. The Hispanic male got back into his vehicle. The victim's vehicle drove behind the building where the vehicle was found on December 26th, 2023. The Silverado followed the victim's vehicle. It was believed that the victims were already deceased in the vehicle at the time the video observed. It is believed the unknown driver and heavy-set male observed parked the victim's vehicle at the location in an effort to hide the vehicle. On January 2nd, 2024, your affiant provided one of the victim's cell phones to Detective Knox at the Technical Investigations Unit. On January 3rd, your affiant received a phone download from Detective Knox, and your affiant found the victim had recently searched the street of Charlie Chan Drive. Charlie Chan. Due to your affiant's knowledge of the crime scene area, your affiant was aware that Charlie Chan Drive was a couple blocks away. From the victim's vehicle recovery location, your affiant was able to discover that the victim's vehicle pinged near Charlie Chan Drive and Cary Grant Drive around 2350 hours. So that's, once again, super late. On the night they went missing. The vehicles did not start moving again until 4 minutes later. The vehicle then traveled to 5903 Danny K Drive, where the victims and their vehicles were discovered on December 26th, 2023. 23. Your affiant conducted computer research and was able to locate a vehicle that looked identical to the suspect vehicle on camera with the victim vehicle. So what they did was they took the ping, the Charlie Chan drive. Then they were looking. They're like, "Oh my God, there's a vehicle parked there. Looks like the heavy set man's car." So it's kind of just piecing together for him there. Um, I want to match the description. Okay. Homicide detectives went to the vehicle location listed above and found the listed vehicle at the location. While at the residence on Charlie Chan, a person identified as Ramon Presadio, is that Presadio? Reported knowing why San Antonio Police Department was at his residence. Never a good idea. Look, I mean, I'm sure that this guy's gonna try and save his own ass, but he's like, "Yeah, I know why you're here." Oh, do you know why we're here? Yeah, we know. Okay, so Ramon informed San Antonio police detectives to speak to his son, identified as Christopher Presadio. Presado, Big Smoke. Is that really his nickname? That's just Presado. Okay. Oh yeah, it's Presado. And Ramon Presado and Christopher Presado were transferred to San Antonio Police Department homicide to speak with your affiant, while additional San Antonio PD detectives searched the resident in Charlie Chan Drive under the authority of a search warrant. Your affiant spoke with Ramon Presado. After Ramon was read the Miranda warnings, Ramon admitted to driving his Chevrolet Silverado to 5903 Danny Kane Drive, where he met Christopher Presado. And then Ramon Presado identified himself on surveillance video of 5903 Danny K Drive as the person observed exiting the Chevrolet Silverado, and Ramon reported meeting Christopher at the apartment complex, who was driving another vehicle. The vehicle is the vehicle in which Matthew Guerra and Savanah Soto were found deceased. Ramon admitted to assisting Christopher at 5903 Danny Kane Drive, and Ramon knowingly treated the human corpse of Matthew Guerra, Savanah Soto, and the unborn child of Savanah Soto named Fabian in an offensive manner by leaving them in an abandoned vehicle. Your affiant then spoke with Christopher Presado. After Christopher was read his Miranda warnings, Christopher reported Matthew Guerra and Savanah Soto drove to his residence on Charlie Chan Drive to sell Christopher marijuana. Christopher went on to provide a version of events that were inconsistent with the evidence collected at the scene and from the victim's recovered vehicle. Christopher claimed the male victim pointed a weapon at him, and Christopher was able to manipulate the weapon, resulting in the female being shot. Christopher then stated that the weapon pointed at him again, and he manipulated the weapon again, resulting in the male victim being shot. Christopher's statement is inconsistent with the gunshot wounds suffered by Matthew Guerra and Savanah Soto and the evidence located at the crime scene. Christopher intentionally discharged a firearm at Savanah and Matthew with the intention of causing death. The actions of Christopher resulted in the death of Matthew Savanah and Savanah Soto's unborn child named Fabian. Your affiant has reason to believe and does believe that the said defendant, Christopher Ray Prasado, on or about the 21st day of December 2023 in Bexar County, intentionally caused the death of multiple persons in violation of section number. Okay. So this is the warrants. Let's see here. So that's the end of the, this is all the paperwork here. But so okay, let's go. Okay, so we know how they got to him, we know how they found him, all that. Now what's going to be interesting is, okay, so they placed themselves at the scene, or they placed themselves with the dead bodies in the car, driving them. The dad was like, hey, you need to talk to my son. Apparently, I mean, I don't know if he thought that he wasn't going to get in any trouble. Probably he's in less trouble than Christopher, but we'll see. You know, I mean, they should add a bunch of charges, and they are, I believe. And I'll look that up here in a second. Yeah, but what he's gonna say is, yeah, like they did this to me, and then he went all Jason Bourne on them, and somehow manipulated Matthew's gun while it was in Matthew's hands to shoot Savanah in the back of the head, and then manipulate the gun to push it to the back of the head of Matthew while Matthew was apparently holding it, and pull the trigger as well. I mean, if this is what he's going to go to trial with, if this is what he thinks that he's going to be able to pull off, good luck to him. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell a jury's going to buy that. I mean, it's even to somebody like me who doesn't understand that kind of stuff. It's obvious what happened. This is not a self-defense thing. This is sloppy. This is not what. So they're like, okay, well, whatever. They arrested him. Now check this out. Were they killed in the car, or did he go into the house, or however did this happen? The drag marks would be indicative of the moving the body, dragging him. They say dead weight is horrendous, and that's true. It really is. Dead weight is tough. So it sounds like he drug him across pavement somewhere, and then
unknown caller.
Hold on. Whoa. Okay, well, sorry about that. So, but why would Matthew, let's see here. Why would Matthew pull a gun on Christopher? Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that couldn't have happened. However, he's saying that he killed them with his gun. He was able to manipulate it twice and shoot them both in the back of the head. How you get behind somebody with somebody else's gun is beyond me. Now, this is a great question. Where was the shooting supposed to taking place? Well, they don't say, but they believe that it was outside of the vehicle. Renee says that they're both still in jail, as they should be. So so basically they're admitting to being there. He's admitting to doing the shootings, but he disputes how it went down. And unfortunately for him, since he's just a 19-year-old kid, couldn't come up with anything better than that he manipulated the gun. Like he was able to, whatever the hell it is you want to call it. I don't know what you call the kind of, I don't know, gun jujitsu. I have no idea. I mean, that just is so unfathomable and so unlikely. So I don't know. I don't know if the dad's out on bond or not. I can take a look and see. So I know that I know that there was like a $2 million bond, and okay, let's see what the independent says here. You know, and I really what really sucks about this is, I mean, there's a lot of things that suck about it, but what's really really bad is when the family is going to really try to defend Savanah and her involvement in it, and they could be right that she wasn't really that involved, but it's going to be really hard. You know, it's going to be really hard to paint her in the light that you know they want to, and I understand that. I understand it. I get it. It makes sense. It's sad that you know this is what they're gonna have to do, and it's terrible. So, but that's. I mean, you can even see in this article here. Her brother Jordan Corona told NBC he was worried about his sister's relationship with her boyfriend, which would make sense because he had a history of assaulting. My sister was a little sweetheart. She didn't even like being near smoke, he said. I guess it was just one of those wrong place, wrong time situations. And while I do sympathize with that, you know, I mean, the guy it says in the affidavit that this boy has been shot at before, that Matthew had been shot at before. These were accidents waiting to happen, robberies waiting to happen. When you flash your money and your guns, these are the kind of people that you attract. So let's see here. More charges are pending. They're both going down. Look, these two have admitted to being the ones around everybody. They're the ones involved, and this is their guys. Now, like I said, going to trial with what he's going to try to go to trial with, I mean, it's just good luck. All right. She doesn't get around that kind of stuff. Of course, her boyfriend was the way he was, but as far as her involvement with drugs, no. So let's see. And it was an abusive relationship. We didn't approve of it. You know, and I get it. You know, they're gonna cast aspersions on. You know, I hope that the families. This is just my hope, and I don't know if it'll happen or not. That they can come to some sort of, you know, the blame game isn't going to help. And while they were doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing and putting themselves in bad situations. Um, somebody else killed them. I have to say that it wasn't. Um, it's how do you blame? That's just how it's going. It's going to be the blame game. They're mad at them. They're mad at them, and I get it. It sucks. It's terrible. It's so sad. Thank you for clarifying, by the way. I appreciate it. Did I clarify for you? I'm glad that I did. I don't know. I didn't know that I did. The problem is that they all know each other. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's okay. So let's see. Where's their bond at? All right. So they're facing new charges. New charges. Dang. I heard some people saying that the charges for the abuse of a corpse or whatever it is exactly that they're going to charge them with carries like kind of a lighter sentence. But the problem is, a lot of what happens is a lot of times is that these since this stuff is, he's charged, the boy is going to be charged with capital murder. I believe that there are extra charges or harsher punishments for these kinds of acts. And so I think that they'll upgrade everything that they can. They should absolutely, he didn't just help his son hide bodies. He withheld information of the deaths. He aided and aid and embedded his son, which is never a good thing. Obviously, you're not supposed to do that either. So sounds like he did, but yeah, it does sound kind of like Quinny, they basically did confess. All right. Okay, so I'm looking for the charges here. So it says they were handed additional charges. All right. A Texas father and son have been charged over the shooting of a pregnant teenager and her boyfriend who were found dead in a car outside a San Antonio apartment building. And the police have arrested 19-year-old Christopher Ray Prasado and 53-year-old Ramon. Oh my God. Dude is shot out. Christopher faces charges of abuse of a corpse and altering or destroying a human corpse. Good Lord. In addition to capital murder, and his father was charged with altering or destroying a human corpse after initially facing an abuse of a corpse charge for allegedly helping his son move the body. Soto and Guerra may have been killed in retaliation for a drug deal gone awry, according to Guerra's family. So you got capital murder. You got abuse of a corpse. And that's where you're going to get the dragging or whatever it is that they did. So the 19-year-old claims he and Matthew a purported drug dealer struggled, resulting in the 22-year-old and his girlfriend being shot. So this boy, where is he? This boy, Christopher, wants authorities to believe that he was buying weed or whatever it is that he was buying. I know people say it was narcotics, not weed. I don't know what it was. I'm just telling you what the affidavit says. I'm sure more stuff will come out. They say weed. Okay. It could interchange that with X or whatever it is, hair. I don't care. There was something involving drugs and money or whatever, however that goes down. But what this boy wants you to believe and authorities to believe is that he had a gun pulled on him and somehow was able to manipulate the gun to defend himself by shooting two people in the back of the head. One of them being Savanah, who was 9 months pregnant with baby Fabian. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. There's not a jury in this world. There's not a jury in this world that would believe that. Savanah and Christopher went to school together. She introduced Matthew to him. I mean, I didn't read that, but it doesn't seem. You know, I am kind of surprised that people are so surprised that somebody would kill over weed. I mean, it's not that uncommon. You can find plenty of cases. Like I said, the reason that people are struggling with it is because of Savanah and her condition. It is okay. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Over weed. I just can't believe it. I don't know. This is crazy. Well, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah. I mean, that's why you want us to think that he's Jason Bourne or whoever the frig he is. Let me ask you a question, Jules. I'm just being honest here. What do you think that it was over? Like, do you dispute that it was narcotics? Do you think it was something else? What else could it be? You know, okay, say it was some other drug. Say it was some other drug. Okay. That's my question. That's exactly right. Her brother was killed over THC cartridges. So that's what I'm saying. I just you gotta. One thing that I do want to say is I get the need, the want for there to be deeper explanations, that there's something else going on. And a lot of the times, folks, these kinds of cases are surface level. This is not some deep seated conspiracy setup rigmarole. Kids do stupid things, idiotic, evil things. That's just my opinion about that. I wouldn't read too much into it. You can if you want, but I'm telling you, there's no reason. So I've heard people say, well, there's a third person in that car. What is the purpose? What would the purpose be of the police disguising that? What's the purpose? Oh, they're leaving out a third person. Why? Why would they do that? They wouldn't do that. If they had evidence of another person, that they would do. If we think that there's some criminal mastermind pulling the strings, you know, no, there absolutely is no conspiracy. We see this with almost every case that comes up, and I get it. People's thirst for whatever, but I mean, they follow the evidence. We follow our imaginations. It was like when Columbine, there are people that swear that there was 3 or 4 shooters there. I mean, I don't know. There's no evidence of that. I've looked into Columbine many times. Nothing suggests that. What would be the point? He absolutely chose violence. Yeah, and Anon's correct as well. If you think about this, remember, this is just enough info to get the warrant. They don't have to give you everything. So the killing location or exactly what happened, they probably have left out a lot of information on purpose, and rightfully so, because eventually this is going to go to trial and they're going to need to prove their case. It's like the Alec Murdaugh case. Towels don't move themselves. Look, that could be part of the evidence. We don't know what evidence exactly that they have. I mean, and ICU says, in my opinion, they're covering for mom. Look, that could be true as well. Who knows? Maybe did mom have knowledge after the fact? It's possible. I mean, it is possible. And yeah, I would believe that as a crime. And if she got rid of any evidence, and I'm sure that they're looking into that, then she should be charged 100%. But I don't know. We don't know all the evidence. If it goes to trial, we'll probably know all the evidence. I guess I don't want to believe some 19-year-old can unalive 3 people, one being an unborn baby. It's mind blowing, is right. All for weed. Well, I mean, who would want to believe that? But it happens. It really does. Does it boggle our mind? And I think that's why people are so into these kinds of stories, because they go, how could somebody actually do that? That's why people are fascinated with serial killers and crime in general. It gives you this, like, it pushes you outside of the zone of normalcy. This is not normal, but it's not like completely foreign. This is not normal what happened. Nobody's saying that it's normal, but it's also not a conspiracy. I don't think. And Karen says 19 in the life, impulsive, access to violence, guns, drugs. Yeah, I get it. I get it. This happens every day. What's confusing you? I'm not confused about anything. I know that I read about it all the time. See, the passenger might not know anything or able to see much if the dad didn't tell mom. Might not have known. She might not have known. And I doubt that either one of them would give him up. However, I think dad was thinking that he didn't have very much culpability in this case. And you're sitting there going, well, you do, buddy. And I think that's why he said, you need to talk to my son. Look, dude, he didn't steal a candy bar. And you said, oh, we'll talk about it later. That's not what happened. The fact of the matter is, this man chose to help his son, especially if it was self-defense, which it wasn't, because how could it be self-defense with those kinds of gunshot wounds? There's just no possible way that it's self-defense. Now, if that's what they're going to try and do, let them do it. Let them try it. He'll get the chair for sure. He said fake news. What did he mean by that? He's probably just saying he didn't do anything. That these stories that were flying around, because there were a lot of stories flying around. I mean, that part is very much true. There were stories, there was an abundance of stories, like there always is. Speculation. You have other gang member. People are putting other gang members' faces on thumbnails, which is never a good idea, but they do it anyway. Let them. I don't really care. So I wouldn't. I'd only put these idiots on there. This is truly a heartbreaking case. The baby boy, it breaks my heart. Yeah, I mean the whole thing is just it's disgusting. It's crazy. And I've said that about certain cases too. It's just like how could you fathom it? Well, you can't fathom it. We're not supposed to be able to wrap our heads around these kinds of things. That's why people are so interested in this kind of stuff, because you're going, holy crap, I can't believe that this person would do that. It's the same thing every time. You hear about these 14, 15-year-old kids committing these heinous murders. I think there was a 14-year-old boy just recently here in California that got in trouble, not in trouble. I mean, he killed his family, said it was an intruder, killed his whole family. Like, or I think it was his mom, dad, and somebody else. I just want it to make sense. That's a basic human need. It may be a basic human need, but it's not everything makes sense. What would make sense? Okay. Say, let's just say this, say, they had a standoff. They were arguing over price. So they pulled their guns on each other and they were holding each other. And then they got in a fight and this man bested both of them and then did what he did. I mean, that doesn't make much sense either. Why would they fight over that? I get you want it to make some sort of sense, but it doesn't always make sense. These are the kinds of things that don't make sense. It happens in many cities, young kids doing crazy, horrible things. I am surprised that people don't think. So Savanah went to school with Christopher. Did I get that right? Well, some people are saying that that's on a reel. I don't know. I have no clue if that's true or not. Probably. Yeah, I saw that too. School shooter in Iowa today. Never makes sense. It's just these things don't make sense. I mean, you go back to the Christopher Watts case. What about Chris Watts made sense to anybody? And once again, there were conspiracies everywhere. This Christopher Watts is evil. He's an inhumane person. He's a coward for wanting to stay alive so he could smash oatmeal pies in the pen and have chocolate milk and all this kind of stuff. Like he can have the luxuries. That never made sense to me. It'll never make sense. And I get the need for people wanting it to make sense. It just doesn't sometimes. That's the problem. Debbie C says it was only 4 minutes from the victims. It was only 4 minutes from the time victims arrived at the house to their Kia being behind the apartments. In my opinion, it was definitely planned. Yeah, he definitely could have lured them there, saw what was going on social media, and was like, hey, this guy's got money, he's got drugs. When they say an apparent drug deal gone bad, like who knows exactly what that means? That could have been for the cash too. There's probably more to the story. I think that there is. I think that the perplexing evidence, was that you had a pregnant mother who was 9 months pregnant, killed at the scene, or excuse me, found at the scene, killed. That doesn't happen that often in those kinds of that kind of scenario. Like I said, that's why this is next level. If this had just been, a girlfriend and a boyfriend, no pregnancy involved, it's another day in the life of drugs and gangs. I don't know if they're gang affiliated or not. I know, but it seems that there were obviously cash and drugs, but it's so far beyond what even somebody sticking somebody up would do. Let's see here. Just saw new charges. Let me check here. Like I said, it is a baffling thing that anybody would even. I don't know, dude. The other day I was watching a video of a little python or a python that had a hold of a little baby deer, and the truck driver got out and like whacked the python with a stick and it let the deer go and ran off. And I like got really excited. I was like, oh my God, because I was about to turn it off. I was like, I can't see this. I can't see this. And that's like nature. That's normal. Like that happens all the time. All right. Let me take a look. You're right about that. He does have dead eyes, Jules. He's the fact that even like that the fact that crossed his mind and then he goes through with it, crazy. And then the fact that the dad thinks it's a good idea to help him out, like why would you do that, dude? Why would why would you do that? And I want to say thank you to Baby Kisses. We got your PayPal for Linda's birthday. Very kind of you. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, look, there's no way that this guy gets close without you know. Melissa says wasn't said that they were arguing when she got into the car with her boyfriend. I wonder about that. I don't know. I've heard a lot of different things like that. Tennessee Rose, 20-month member. Thank you so much for that. Fun Size says, thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh, for all your amazing coverage. Thank you. I appreciate. I know that this has been covered a lot by a lot of people. I just, I want to see it through. So here we are. So let's see. Are there any new? Coffin Dockers talking about something's amiss. Oh no. Abort. No thanks, Coffin Doffer. I'm not seeing. Wait, here we go. Happy birthday, Linda. 24. 24. 24. Yeah, I'm not seeing any new charges here. Let's take a look. So do you guys remember when they were talking about like somebody when they found him that his pants were down? That could have very well been because what is it? Uh, duh, duh. Suzanne Coffendoffer, whatever her name is. And can anybody tell me what the? Can anybody tell me what the? I'm looking at Ken's 5 right now. But I don't see any new charges. What are those new charges? Can you put them in here? I can't find them. All I see, I'm looking at the page and they're talking about it, but does anybody know what new charges are? I'm looking for new charges. Anybody got them? New charges, new charges, new charges. 40 minutes ago. We've been live over an hour. 40 minutes ago. Let's go. Let's go. 18 minutes ago. Let's see. Hiding a corpse. Okay. So they're yeah, I believe there was a $600,000 bail and a $2 million bail. Abuse of a corpse. Okay. So abuse of a corpse is transport of a corpse. Yeah, they're gonna get him on every single piece. I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for the son, Christopher, to be charged with 3 counts of murder. That's what I want to see. I want to see the 3 counts of capital murder. And I'm telling you, if they don't give him that, I will hit the roof. I will lose my mind. That baby was ready to be born into this world. I will lose my freaking mind. I'll tell you that right now. Holy crap. That's what I want to see. Show me those charges. Give me 3 murder counts and set us up with a trial, a death penalty trial. Let's go. Let's go. Golly. Let's get him. Oh, yeah. It should be a death penalty case through and through. If, like I said, I remember, and like I said, there are some people that don't agree with the death penalty. And I agree. If you're gonna use the death penalty, you need to use it, fairly and for everybody, or get rid of it. And they don't, but that's not going to change anytime soon. But I'm telling you this: if there is a person out there that is willing to kill 2 people over drugs, whether that be whatever kind of drugs, it doesn't matter. If there's somebody out there willing to do that, send me an email. What do you mean? Oh, look. If somebody is willing to do that, they obviously don't need to be a part of this world. Anon, thank you again for your $2 super sticker. I appreciate it very much. Let's see. Mel says this guy's going to need a better story than the current nonsense he's spewing. I suppose that will be the defense attorney's job. Man, I'd hate that job. Imagine having to defend them. I couldn't tell you that, Kelly. Yes, I wish. I don't know. I'm assuming. I don't know. I assume it is, right? No. Here, hold on a second. Yeah, Nana's Dragonfly says the jury will not find it hard to say guilty, in my opinion. Well, I share that opinion with you. So, in our opinion, mine and Nana's opinion, we don't think it's going to be hard for the jury to say guilty. ICU says in 2003, the legislator redefined individual as a live human being, including an unborn child at every stage of gestation, from fertilization until born. So, and, I think a lot of people, you can't get this mixed up with, abortion or whatever. You can't do that. This is a child that had they had every intention of bringing into this world. I mean, I'm guessing that they were under the treatment of doctors, and the baby was healthy and ready to go to meet this world. There's no way he didn't know that she was pregnant. Josh, the father, just got the added charge of transporting a corpse. Like I'm saying, they're going to try and stack every charge on this guy that they can, because it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to charge him with the murders. And, but they're going to want to do everything that they can. Abuse of a corpse and alter, destroy, and conceal of a corpse on Christopher. That's beautiful. I get it. So what they're doing right now is they're just, every time they add a charge, it's like the bail will go up and up and up. Eventually, I would imagine that Christopher will have a no bond. And when they get to that point, they'll be like, hey, okay. I just saw a case the other day of a young man who was accused of shooting two individuals. One died at the hospital. He posted $1 million bail, or his family or whatever, gets out on $1 million bail. Then they upgrade his charges the very next day to murder and rearrest him. No bail. So if by some chance he can make bail, because it sounds like that he has a business that he could use as collateral. I don't know if this is a cash bond. I know that for a $2 million bail, you're going to need $200,000 to put up. And then for the dad, for $600,000 bail, you're going to need $60,000. So they're going to have to come up with over $250,000. I don't know, $250,000 in total, whatever. They put up their house, they put up their business, or whatever it is that they want to do. And so it's possible that they can make bail. It's completely possible. Now, I think if that was getting ready to happen, they need to slap the murder charge on there. Mimi Tanya says no bail's bondsman is going to touch them. When Chris and Summer were granted bond, none of the bondsmen would do it. They don't like baby killers. Yeah. Yes, I would agree. I would agree. But yeah, I really do hope that they upgrade these charges, because I'm telling you that the guy has a business. I mean, he has collateral, he has equity that he can put up. Now, if it's a cash bond, how many people have $260,000 laying around? I mean, who knows? Maybe they do. I doubt it. But I don't think that they're going to I don't think they're going to let Christopher out on bail. I do think it's possible that the heavy set guy, as they refer to him in the affidavit, could make bail. But let's just hope that they can't make bail. They don't need to make bail. These people have admitted to being at the scene of the crimes that were committed. They did everything. They admitted to being responsible for them. Now they're sounds like they're kind of got some revisionist tendencies going on here, but that seems to happen a lot when people don't really have. How do you explain that away? How do you explain away what he did? Well, he tried by saying that he is a superhero or whatever it is by altering the gun twice. Yeah, I mean, you already saw what happened to his car. They're after him. If I'm the wife, I'm filing for divorce the moment the cuffs go on. That's going to be, well, that'll be interesting. Yeah, I would think so. Isn't that what that beach killer's wife did? And then she got a Netflix special. Let's just hope nothing like that goes on, or a book special or something. I honestly thought they'd be in Mexico by now, but no, I mean they got roots here. What are they gonna do? Run? And all of a sudden you got a father and son, they're just missing. Like, hey, we just tracked your car to your house, and for some reason they're driving this piece of crap black car across the border. They'd probably get stopped pretty quick. They do not seem smart. No. Fake news. I mean, no, I don't think that they seem smart either. The father's business is probably a shady cover up. Look, who knows? Who knows what they're going to uncover? It's possible. Possible. If there's one thing that we know, is that he's willing to do unsavory things for his child. He should have turned his child in the moment that, and I know that seems like a hard thing to do in this situation. It may be hard to do, but needs to be done nonetheless. It's the Brian Laundrie situation. It's these parents that burp their children until they're 20, and it's okay, you're special, little Johnny, you're special. Don't, just because the kids, you get picked on in school. Everybody gets picked on in school. Who didn't get picked on in school? Everybody got picked on in school. Okay. Not everybody turns into a psycho. And there's absolutely no reason whatsoever that anybody should not report what had happened. So that's where Daddy-O made the mistake. All right. Oh my God. I can't even imagine. See, if this is the guy that they believe, and they prove it in a court of law, in a Texas prison, man, he's in big trouble. I don't know if they're letting the dad out on bond. I know that they have bonds posted, or excuse me, they have bonds, but nothing has been posted as of yet. Like I said, so they're going to have to get both of them out right now would be over $250,000. I didn't think that it was a cash bond. So some sort of equity would probably do. As somebody in the chat said, can you imagine a bail bondsman even touching this case? I think bail bondsmen are more into kind of getting the petty criminals out, or kind of different. I know you're not allowed to bail out arson. I remember one time I called a bail bondsman. I was just doing like a stupid prank call, and I was said that I was trying to get my Uncle Don out of um jail. I said, is there any crime you can't get bailed out on? He was like, I think arson. And I said that he had actually smuggled rodents. So sorry about that. They might be safer in prison. Yeah, they're probably in county. I don't know. I don't know how high profile Derek Chauvin wasn't very protected in prison. It just doesn't matter. Yeah, not safer in prison. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't think they're safe anywhere. I mean, the guy's car already got tagged overnight. They know where they live. I mean, it's gonna be weird. I did. I prank called a bail bondsman. That's true. Sorry. It was a long time ago. It was funny too. Called him twice. He thought it was funny. He was like laughing the whole time. Yeah, they're not going to be safe anywhere, folks. I'll tell you that. Mountain Cat says, anyone get the feeling this kid was bullied in school? His graduation video is weird. Very little applause, few jeers. I mean, he doesn't really look like the life of the party, but I'm looking at him through different glasses. Like if I was just to see that kid, I'd be like, hey, who cares? It's a boy that kind of looks like a girl. But I wouldn't think a thing about it, nor would I even bring that up. So, yeah, he's weird. Prisoners that are there for stealing for their babies will not like him. He's not going to be a popular dude. Lisa remembers that. I think I have that call still somewhere. It was, I thought it was kind of funny. No, it wasn't. It was actually on the lab. That was an interesting one. I'll have to play him on the I'll play him on the lab after dark. Oh, I'm shocked. Muscles and Mascara says, Josh, I didn't get picked on in school. Maybe that's because you were too busy lifting to get picked on. Okay. If their address is anything to go by Charlie Chan Drive, then sorry, Big Daddy, your number one son's number one son's. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm perplexed by this, but I'm just going to be excited when those 3 murder charges show up, because that to me will be really when justice will really get rolling here. I mean, murdering a pregnant 18-year-old. And like I said, there are people, it sounds like they lived fairly close to each other. And there are people saying that they went to the same high school together. Possibly so. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. It wouldn't surprise me that this person was introduced to by this person or this person, that and that and this. They're probably all on Telegram. They all probably slang whatever together. But I'm looking for that death penalty charge. That's what I'm looking for. And hopefully that's coming soon. He has a prolific build, 99% school shooter. He's got something. is the death penalty in Texas. I think that Texas invented the death penalty. See a little Richard Ramirez in there. It's not worth whatever amount of cash or weed valued over 3 lives. I agree with that as well. But yeah, Texas is like the home of the death penalty. So somebody used to have a joke that said that the Texas was so serious about the death penalty that like when you enter Texas, there's a sign that says "Welcome to Texas. Don't f up. We'll kill you." Yeah. So, and it's true. Like I said, they do make quick work of these guys. You don't sit forever. They will do it. Yeah, I think they do still have old Sparky. They certainly do. That's what they call riding the lightning. I'm scared of the dope, boss. Does anybody remember the Green Mile? Oh my God, I cried my eyes out during that movie. He's like, I'm just sick of the world. I'm sick of the world being so cruel. I'm scared, boss. It's just like, oh my God. Save yourself, save yourself. And he was like, no, boss. It's like, oh my God. Come on, John. Do it, Coffee. Do it. And he just wouldn't do it. He's like, I'm done. I'm done. So, although John Coffey didn't deserve that treatment, we'll see when all the evidence comes back. Yeah, I bawled too. It was a terrible movie. Terrible movie. Telegram is a newish end-to-end encrypted kind of like a WhatsApp where it's hard to. Why is it? Oh, here we go. Are we sure this is Christopher? Is it Christopher? It looks more like a Christine. Moving on. Green Mile is a classic. Oh man, the book was so good. Yeah, it was. She likes the book, but Katie Bug likes the books better. She likes them way better. Okay, so it's not newish. Sorry. I heard about it this year, not from this case either. Yeah, Green Mile is a great movie. I liked it a little. Okay. Appreciate you guys being here. Catch you later.